Go for it. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes from the previous meeting? Move to approve by Justin. Second by Kale. All in favor? All right. And the minutes from the special meeting of September 25th. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Larry, second by Justin, all in favor? And the minutes of the special meeting of September 27th. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Cale, second by Justin, all in favor? Okay. The minutes from the September 9th meeting, we need to rescind that motion and reapprove them as corrected.
Yes. So on the original minutes that were approved, the closing of the meeting for the R&R and the closing of the budget got swapped on the minutes. So rescinding it, the original was Robert and Justin. If you guys could just make the motion to rescind your approval, and then we can reapprove.
It was those two, and then wasn't it the year on the budget as well?
Oh, yes, that was,
Okay.
yes.
So you need a motion to rescind?
Yes, to rescind the originally approved September 9th meeting minutes.
So moved.
Moved by Larry, second by Cale, all in favor? Okay, do I hear a motion to approve the corrected minutes for September 9th? Moved by Justin, second by Cale, all in favor? All right. Consent agenda. Need permission for clerk to pay insurance at time of billing, permission for clerk to pay utilities at time of billing, permission for clerk to pay utility incentive before the 25th of the month, permission for clerk to pay theater bills when due, permission for clerk to pay payment service network bills when due, and permission for clerk to pay city attorney bills when due. Moved by Dara, second by Larry, all in favor? All right. New business, building permits.
Let's get one concrete permit.
Any problems, Dan?
No. Just adding all this patio.
Do I hear a motion to approve the building permit?
So moved.
Second. Moved by Cale, second by Dara, all in favor? Okay. Transportation program commitment letter.
So the commitment letter that is out there, this is a yearly, like every year we sign basically the same letter stating that we are going to allocate funds towards the transportation program for the Cheyenne County Transportation Van. This one is for the 2026 fiscal year. It's always 2 years ahead of schedule. So if you guys want to make the motion to approve, and then I have the copy for everyone to sign.
I'll move to approve.
Moved by Larry,
Second.
second by Bud. All in favor? He raised his hand, sorry.
I'm not gonna cry.
Okay, good deal. U.S. Highway 36 travel guide advertising letter.
So we received the letter stating that they are going to be ready for spring publication in 2025 for the U.S. Highway 36 travel guide. previous years, it's been around $945. I do not have the actual amount for the 2025 yet. I did email Chris over at CCDC to see if she had any information. She hasn't gotten back to me yet. So I just wanted to share this so that it can be in you guys' mindset.
Okay, I guess until we get a price from them, we can just table it till later. Options.
Hello. I believe in your packet you had a proclamation from Options. No? Okay. 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 I am not Liliana. I'm Andrea. You guys saw me in the spring. We sent a proclamation. I did not send it. One of our new advocates sent it. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and we've gone out to some of our cities and counties, and they've declared October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and that was what the communication was for. And that's okay if you guys don't proclaim this year, since you didn't have it a month in advance to see it, but we do appreciate your support, and just wanted to, I guess that's the gist of what we have tonight, because I thought we were coming for a proclamation. So
Yes, so basically we came for the proclamation. However, the hope is that next year maybe then we can be invited, so that way you have an idea of what it looks like, an idea of what it's supposed to represent. We show up in the community. We want people to know that we're in the community, and for the mayor and the city council to proclaim Domestic Violence Awareness Month, that speaks volumes in a community like St. Francis. So, we just hope that the symbolism is helpful.
Some of the steps weren't followed.
Yes, and I have the copy of the proclamation here. There's just the change with the signature.
Right.
But I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on? And we've never done, is this something new that you guys are doing? Because
we've done it in, like, Russell does one, Hayes has done one traditionally. We felt that, with our support from our other cities, that you guys should have the opportunity to do it as well, because it does, we publish the pictures and show that it was done, and that, your community does support the effort to try to, as one of our new campaigns is stamp out domestic violence. Russell kind of happens by magic, because my dad's the mayor, and I say, "Hey, Dad, we want to do a proclamation." So he's like, "Well, get it to me,"
yeah.
Is this something that goes out on social media?
Yep. We and our radio station actually had an article about it that we did it. I can get KRSL up here and get the article. A few more. They, of course, have their meetings on Tuesday nights as well, so that's there we are. So this is the article on KRSL, and I went with our therapy dog, and he is otherwise engaged tonight, or he might have made the trip too, because he likes car rides. And pretty much what happened is that right before the meeting started, the proclamation was read and signed, and then we took pictures, and then they went on with their meeting. So sorry if I'm interrupting. You were making your meeting long tonight.
You're fine.
No, you're fine. I mean, I can read this if you guys want me, since there's not one out there. Do you guys want me to read it?
Sure.
To you guys?
Yeah.
To the people of St. Francis, Kansas, greetings. Whereas domestic violence is a widespread, preventable public health problem impacting all Kansas communities, and whereas family and relationships are often counted among life's greatest gifts, and tragically many Kansas relationships are tarnished by violence and fear, and whereas perpetrators of domestic violence use violence and fear to gain power and control over their victims, violating an individual's privacy, dignity, security, and humanity with their intentional, systematic use of physical, emotional, sexual, psychological, financial, and coercive control and abuse. And whereas fleeing domestic violence has caused women and children to be the fastest growing homeless population, and whereas in Kansas in 2022, one domestic violence incident was reported every 23 minutes, one domestic violence arrest was made every 47 minutes, and one domestic violence murder occurred every 11 and a half days. And whereas the Kansas Bureau of Investigation reports that domestic violence murders account for 21.4% of all homicides in Kansas in 2022, and whereas in Cheyenne County in 2022, 16 incidents of domestic violence were reported to police and 11 arrests were made, and Options provided 11 services in Cheyenne County. And whereas people who experience domestic violence should have help to find the compassion, comfort, and healing they need, and domestic abusers should be punished to the full extent of the law, and whereas domestic violence is inconsistent with the values of our community and will not be excused or tolerated. Now, therefore, I, Amanda Melney, Mayor of the City of St. Francis, do hereby proclaim October 2024 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in St. Francis and encourage all citizens to speak out against domestic violence, to provide support for survivors of these crimes, to encourage community leaders to hold perpetrators accountable, and to make domestic violence prevention efforts a priority by hosting events, by creating policies at school and work, and by working with your local domestic violence victims service providers. So,
Thank you.
yes.
Yeah. And if you don't mind, a picture?
No. Do we need a motion
I think you're
to?
gonna go around and.
I would think that.
Yeah. Do we want a motion to approve the proclamation?
So moved.
Moved by Kale. Second. Second by Dara. All in favor?
Thank you. Again.
Yes.
So, picture. Oh, okay. Thank you.
I'm Isaac, by the way.
Isaac, Amanda. Chair's going to be in the way.
I want to crowd in. You want me to just?
I didn't know we were
Yeah.
having
Don't throw me. Okay, all right.
Scrunch.
I'm not gonna get out of it. There you go. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Camera's
Yes.
not broke.
Thank you.
And if you ever wanted to know what the Mayor of Russell looks like, that's him opening
real
a park.
him?
That's him opening a park.
I blacked out.
What's that?
Oh, okay. Very
He was
good.
opening a park.
Post
All
that
right,
on
thank you.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Do you need a copy of this signed or?
We'll get you a corrected one.
Okay, and then I can sign it.
Yeah, that'd be
Okay.
great.
All right.
Thank you.
Perfect. Yep. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Post it on our website. We can post it on our social media. We do not have to put it in the newspaper. There is no law for that.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, and I'll send you a picture.
Good with that.
Okay.
Perfect. That'll work. Thanks, guys. Safe travels.
Have a good one.
You too.
Thank you.
Kids.
She was calling me.
Items from previous meetings. Do we have anything? No. Property cleanup? No. Lauren? No.
Hey, man, if you want to get him, since he's normally up there.
Yeah,
he's not on here at all.
I know. I was like, well, I didn't think this project spending our streets would be very much, and we could get
No,
sneak
that-
Cody in. Yeah. Project spending our street project. Do we have anything going?
No.
Either one of those. All right, Cody.
Thank you.
We won't make you wait till the end.
Well, it's my daughter's 13th birthday.
Oh.
tonight, so we're not doing anything really tonight. This week is Sunday. So. I'll go through the reports. There's a couple things I want to explain that we kind of changed up a little bit to try to do something. And on the animal call one, it says 12. Animal calls can include everything from there's a possum in my backyard to my neighbor's dogs on the loose. So we're going to try to segregate that and get a new section that is just dog calls. so you guys can see how many, because there wasn't 12 dogs on the loose. That included dogs on the loose, dogs people thought were being taken care of. Like I said, possums in people's backyards. There's a skunk. There's a raccoon we think is rabbit. It's anything to do with an animal that's not livestock. So I think to give a more accurate count of what our dog calls, we're going to try to separate and try to get a new subsection in that is just dog calls, whether too many dogs, dogs barking, or dogs on the loose. Just anything to do with canine will be its own section. Just kind of the way that cattle and livestock are their own section. So going through it, we had 141 things happen in the city limits of St. Francis. Obviously, you just can subtract the 23 VIN inspections. Like I said, because the computer goes off the zip code of where it, or the geofence of where it happens. So that happens at the Cheyenne County Sheriff's Office. It's hard to make that computer segregate off that is something that really doesn't, it's just a VIN inspection. So, that is right in line where we're riding. Almost every meeting for the last several years is, 120 to 140 incidents per month. But like I said, I wanted to point out some things. I've told you in the past, look at this. This is what we're dealing with. This is what we're doing. You look at what we have. The numbers are kind of changing. You have a lot of property damage, or not a lot, one property damage, road debris, but you're starting to get in some other crimes like stalking that you don't normally see. There's some changes because in the past I said, domestic one, concerned citizens. A lot of those were disagreements that weren't arguments. They were just hey, I'm mad at my neighbor. What are you going to do about this? Arguments 3. I know those aren't big numbers, but if you look back in the past, that's a change from property crimes to person crimes, and is what we're starting to see in this fall. Hopefully that's just a temporary trend, and I'm not coming back in here again next month and saying, yeah, person crimes are still on the rise. I mean, I know a lot of places would laugh if I said we had 3 arguments and that's a rise, but we don't normally have that many in the city of St. Francis. Have 3 arguments, a domestic and stalking, and all of that in 1 month. That's not normal. One child in need of care. That could range anything from abuse to not getting medical care or whatever. But there's a child that needs the state to step in and say, hey, we got to care for this child because it's not being cared for at home. And you can see it when you go to the rest of the county. You'll see that we have the same increases. You have 3 arguments in the county. That includes Bird City, but everywhere else besides St. Francis, you have 3 arguments. You have 14 animal calls. Let's see. So we had 3 deaths, unattended deaths we investigated outside of the city of St. Francis. None of them were violent or murder. But you have 2, and that's 5 deaths we worked. That is unusual for us to work that many deaths in a month. Nothing was suspicious or wrong with those deaths. It's just unusual to have that many deaths in that short of time. You just go through here and you start to see, like I said, they seem like small numbers. You look at them, but you compare the domestic violence outside of city limits, concerned citizens 12. Again, most of those are people not getting along. That's what most of those concerned. They just haven't gone to an argument or gone to blows or a fight or anything like that. They're just people calling the sheriff's office saying, hey, I'm mad at this person. What do we need to do to mitigate this? Or before it turns into something bad. That's the majority of what a lot of concerned citizens things are. But you can see it's not really a change. 364 total things that we did last month. Not really a change in numbers, but a change in what we did. I know I've said that like 5 times and repeat myself, but if you guys understand what I'm trying to say, is it's kind of a concerning trend with the climax of what happened Sunday. That's kind of a concerning point to be at right now. I've in the last 18 years, I've noticed that everything goes in a cycle. We'll have a bunch of one thing, then we won't have it again for 7-8 months, and then we'll have a bunch of that again. And I don't like us being in the middle of a trend of person crimes, and that's kind of where we're at. Kind of where we're at right
Does
now.
anybody know about what happened here? With what you're referring to?
I could talk very little, but not very much. There was a shooting. Person survived. We arrested the shooter, and that's about all I can say at this point. It did not happen in the city limits of St. Francis. So
These figures for Sandy are included in the counties?
no, they should not be.
They're separate?
They should be separate. So if there's anything that crossed over, okay, that's what I'll say. If it's 0, it might have crossed over, but if it wasn't 0, it wouldn't have crossed over. Like the cattle out, you see that 17? It should be what she wrote on here. This report is county-wide, includes EMS, St. Francis Fire Control, burns, and appraisal. They should not include that because we have a geofence around St. Francis.
Okay.
If you want me to double check that to make sure, Larry, I will, but there's a
I'm just curious.
there's a geofence for calls that should segregate that out. So,
This is helpful.
yeah. And if you want me to, I could provide you, I could segregate it out to even further on the countywide if you want to know how many of those were in the city limits of Birch City compared to the rest of the county. I just didn't figure, I mean, if you guys want to know, it's public record, I could segregate them out. But we just segregated it to the rest of the county and city limits of St. Francis. So the cattle out ones are kind of misleading because they're cattle from out in the county that made their way into town. But that's kind of, but they were in town. So, yeah. So, you have any questions over this?
How many citations?
Citations? I don't have that in front of me, but we did not write any City of St. Francis citations, if that's what you're asking me. If you look up here, just a second. Because about the only thing right now after the previous meeting, the meeting before the previous meeting we talked about, we're still that the only thing that we're doing citations on is the dogs and the property cleanup. So, trying to, yeah, so you have 1 traffic stop compared to 30 traffic stops in the rest of the county. And I'm going to segregate into that, Justin, here in just a minute once we get done with this report. Lauren's already heard me, so at the Birch City Council meeting. So if we're ready to segregate into that, I'll talk about the next thing. I don't know how many of you guys are aware of the feedlot that they are building. We've talked about it here at the sheriff's office. I talked about it at the city council meeting yesterday. They've already shipped some cattle through our county up there. I imagine it's going to be like anything else. You know, they're saying 100 to 140 loads a day going in once they reach maximum capacity. Some of that's probably going to be coming down 34, but some of it will be coming down 27, which means it will be either coming in from Colorado on 36 or coming up. The first loads that were coming in from the Panhandle, Texas, came all the way up 27 through St. Francis, and then turning and going north. That includes, that's just the cattle. They're going to be feeding, my understanding from what I was told, is 25,000 bushels of grain a day. So that's 25, 26 truckloads of grain a day. Again, that's going to be coming from every direction, but that's going to be still a fair share that's going to be coming through our county, through St. Francis, our town. That said, my plan is, because it's going to be the same companies, contracted to haul this stuff over and over and over again. And Jeff and I talked about changing some of our hours of operations as well, because a lot of cattle likes to ship at night. So we are going to be doing speed traps through town from the beginning, in an attempt to be like, this is not free range trucking through here. So you're going to see it. And I know part of that is when locals see it, they think we're trying to catch them. Because if we catch them, we catch them. I mean, if they're speeding, they're speeding. We're not going to say, oh, we're only after trucks or we're only after that. So you might get people coming up there and saying, why are they sitting up there running radar so much? We discussed when we did the contract, that really wasn't our biggest concern that we had. I think if we don't get on it, it's going to be our biggest concern. When you start having a couple hundred extra trucks a day go through St. Francis, I think it's going to become concern real fast. So we're going to want to get on that
I noticed at 6 o'clock in the morning they're hauling, but it's going in anyway. So
Yeah, and you know those empty trucks got to go back. That's one way. They got to go back. You know where they came from, unless they can find a load somewhere else, which they like doing. But you know a lot of those are going to be contract. They're going to be going back empty. Just that's why I'm saying you can say 100 trucks, 100 to 140 trucks a day bringing cattle in. Well, how many of those are turned back and deadhead and empty? So that increases you maybe the possibility of having a couple hundred trucks a day. And then the grain, 25 trucks a day. If 10 of those came through Cheyenne County, now you have 10 or 20 because they're deadheading back empty. The way I understand it, most of the fed cattle, which is going to be 40 to 50 truckloads a day, but those are going west to Montfort, so they will not be going. We won't have to worry so much about the fat, the finished cattle, because they're going to go to slaughter, not through our county, is the way I understand it. So I'm saying from the beginning, we're going to go out there and do speed traps. I'm just going to tell you. We're not hiding it from the public. We're not hiding it from the public of Cheyenne County. They're not used to sitting up there running radar a whole lot. They're going to be.
They'll find out.
They'll find it. So
Some cities have those speed, you're going X. do those
yeah,
help
and you know
or
what?
not?
Yes and no.
Okay.
It helps you and me going down the road, and we've been driving since Johnson County, and we're going to Denver, and we're like, oh crud, forgot about that. The truck drivers come through all the time. They know, and they also know that's not enforced. You know what I mean? It's not like that gives you a ticket. All that is a reminder. Hey, there's speed limit change here. Please accommodate us. They know that's not sending them a ticket, so they don't care. They see it flashing. They're like, whatever. It might be a good idea because it's going to slow the average public down, but I don't think from my experience of driving truck 20 years ago, it would not have made me flinch because I know there's not a radar unit on. I mean, there's radar to get the speed, but I'm not getting a ticket from it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I wouldn't flinch when I went by. So, not that I sped, I'm just saying I wouldn't have, if I was speeding, I would not have flinched when I went by them. But yeah, we're going to change some things on that. So that said, we don't have anybody CVS certified to do commercial truck inspections or anything like that, so we're going to have to rely on the KHP for that part. When you talk about overweights or things like that, that's going to be logbook violations, braking violations, things like that. That would be on the KHP, not us. But that's the big change with that is, like I said, I want to discuss that with you guys. That we're going to start running.
They give you any kind of a time frame?
They've already started to ship cattle
Well,
up there,
I realize that.
but they're saying it takes about a year to get to full capacity because they're taking in so much weight. They got to feed those up. It's just they don't want to get 250,000 calves the same size, feed them all the same size, and get rid of them all at the same time. They're going to be wanting them to trickle out of there, stagger out of there. So it'll take about a year to get them full.
I was just curious because traffic has been heavier.
It's a noticeable difference. It is they start taking loads in early October, and it's been noticeable since then.
West of Hayward?
It's west of Hagley.
It's west of Hagley.
Northwest of Hagley.
Yeah.
So it's in Colorado then?
No, it's in Nebraska.
Is it?
Right.
I thought it was still in Nebraska,
I think
but
it's right in Nebraska.
the place where the employees are going to live is in Colorado.
Gotcha.
So
Huge operation.
it's supposed to be the biggest feedlot. When they finish it and get to full capacity, it'll be the biggest feedlot in the United States.
Which Chinese corporation owns that?
I don't know. But
Any increase in KHP with the increase in...
we're talking to them. We're supposed to be having a meeting in the next couple weeks with the department heads of the emergency departments. You say emergency, it sounds like we're having an emergency meeting of everything, but the department heads of the emergency departments are going to be having a meeting, and with Ryan, the emergency manager, and KHP will be at that meeting as well to discuss what we're going to do. Because there's a lot of other elements to it. Like I said, with the commercial trucks, there's animal foreign disease. There's all kinds of elements to it that's beyond just a speeding truck that goes through town. Department of Ag, things like that. There's a lot of elements to it because we're going to be having right now. The last time I was told anything, they said that we have the possibility of having around 7,000 transient animals in the county at any given time. And that sounds like a lot, but you stop traffic for a motor vehicle accident and the trucks start piling up, and you start counting how many bull racks during the shipping season, how many bull racks are there. There's a pig truck goes through Cheyenne County every 30 minutes. with 300 hogs. It does not take long to add up to 7,000 transient animals in our county. That's a lot of animals if we have to stop and do something with them and say you can't go any further. So we already have a plan for that. Thankfully, I won't take credit. Ryan Murray already has a plan for that. Let's give the credit to the man that did it. But Ryan Murray's got a plan for that. So, but that's going to increase. Our plan is for that number, not the new number. So there's a lot of elements to it. So
Thanks for the heads up.
yeah. But like I said, we will be doing a lot more speed enforcement through town. So if somebody complains, why are they all of a sudden sitting out there running radar? That's why. So, anything else?
On the dog issues that we've had, or is there tickets to be issued?
We have several that I won't, because it hasn't been through court. There's several that Lauren and I have talked about that we're moving forward on. So.
Yeah, there's several, and it's going to be a bit bigger, and there's more kind of on the nucleus of it, and so we've discussed it I think 2 or 3 times, and we've got a tentative schedule for it, but it's more than what just the standard cases usually are, and so it's taking just a little bit more to get it, because we want to make sure that everything that we need is how it needs to be. And we also, there's some extenuating circumstances with the person receiving the citation and one of the witnesses. Also, I mean, they each have their own kind of thing. So we're trying to make sure that we are able to do this in a way that is effective for the city while being as least detrimental to all parties involved. Would you say that that's
a fair assessment?
That's a fair assessment. I can't really say more than that in open meeting. I would be more than happy to discuss it with council in an executive session if you would like to know, but I can't discuss any more than that in the open meeting.
Go ahead.
So I was going to say, as far as there was a ticket, you had a question on the vehicle tickets.
Or just any citation?
Sorry?
Just anything?
Okay.
Tickets issued?
So, still right now, the majority of citations for anything, because citations could be for anything, it's not just traffic, everybody thinks citation. Majority of them are still district court unless they're dog or property cleanup. The way we're doing it. The other thing is, I'm always the first one to admit my own failures sometimes. I know we have problems with the system that needs to be fixed. It sounds simple, but getting communication between us, the vet clinic, and the city, it needs to be fine tuned. We're taking in dogs up there, and either the vet clinic doesn't know that they have dogs in there, and the city does, or the city doesn't know, the vet clinic does, and we just need to shore that three-way communication up so everybody's getting communicated to at the same time to kind of shore that up. So I know that's an issue that we need to work on. So,
Cody,
yeah.
did Cassie tell you I called today?
No,
Okay.
like I said, I run around chicken, my
Yeah.
head cut off all day.
Well, it's just interesting you said that because, I guess there's a dog up there, and so I think Cassie was going to try to figure out a good system.
I was aware of that dog yesterday, not today.
Okay.
and
What I mentioned to Cassie, and I should just tell all of you guys, is maybe when a deputy takes a dog to the vet clinic, then maybe Cassie could just shoot me an email.
Well,
and then that way we're all on the same
when I
page.
told her yesterday, of course I was pretty busy with other stuff. I said, this is me. That should be the deputy's responsibility. They have your email. Make sure they have your email. They sit there on their phone when they drop it off and say, hey, there's a dog in there. Either I know who it belongs to or I don't. Whatever the circumstances are, then shoot you an email then.
I told several of them to let the city know when they put one up there.
Yeah.
And when you guys get busy, I get that. But then, today, what happened is the vet clinic called, wanted to know what to do. And it's so honestly, this is actually a good discussion because we need to figure out just a good system. But emailing me, we can talk about this later because I'm not going to give my phone number at open meeting. Probably would be better to text me.
Okay, or however,
Yes.
however it is that you want that communication, because the problem is if I take a dog up there at 11:30 at night and I write on a post-it note and I set it on Cassie's desk, but then Troy arrests a DUI and sets an affidavit there, Cody does this, and then by the time she's dug through her pile,
Yeah,
the next,
absolutely.
the next day there's a post-it note underneath that said, I took a dog, and the vet clinic's already called you and said, what's up with this dog in the kennel?
Yeah.
And you're like, I have no idea. That's why I think it's best that, because I think sometimes the problem with communication is having too many ports to go through. Instead of emailing Cassie, just the deputies need just email or text, whatever you prefer. Communicate with you directly, because you put too many places for that to fall through. That way you know for sure. Like I said, that's the problem, that we find out that of the 3 or 4, I'll include Cassie in as the 4th person. Of the 4 people that need to know, we usually get 3 of them notified, but not the 4th. And it's like, and that's why I'm saying we're going to take out this middleman type stuff. We're just going to go direct to whatever method she prefers to her.
We could talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, we're getting too many. It's like back in the old days when it was like, oh, if there's a thunderstorm warning, you need to call both schools, the swimming pools, this person. By the time you got everybody called, the thunderstorm warning was over. It took you forever to call. So I think we're just going to take out some people and get ahead of appropriate people at each department instead of trying to get too many. There's too many people involved in the chain of communication is what I'm thinking the problem is, instead of just right to Jennifer. So,
Question about the traffic. I understand it goes through district court and everything, but have you had citations for stop signs, speeding in town?
not this month, no.
Okay.
But we have, but not this month. And per our 2 meetings ago conversation, that's, you guys are my customers. How do you guys want me to take care of that, whatever way? But yeah, we have in the past this last month. I don't recall. Do you recall a citation for a stop sign or anything in St. Francis?
I don't think so. They mostly speed.
Yeah. So.
But it wasn't in St. Francis either.
No. So.
One other thing that I've had a couple people ask me about, and I don't know how you guys are handling it, but what about vehicles with no tags sitting on the street?
Sitting on the street, just like the meeting said last week, when I'm driving down the street, I'm doing a lot of things. I'm not looking for the little tiny sticker. If you see one with a tag, now when I see a vehicle and it's right in front of me, I'm following it down the street, yes, I see the sticker. But if you see one and you think it's not registered or it's expired, call us, let us know, and we have a deputy close enough to go check it out. We'll go check it out. So that is the deal. Now, the caveat is when the deputy rides up on it, he's going to call the tag in to make sure that the sticker hasn't fallen off or anything before he stops it, to make sure that it is what it is. So that is, and I think the state has it fixed now, but there was an issue with the new plates not coming with the month sticker, and you were supposed to wait and get them in the mail. Then people are like, it never showed up. Where's it at? But it shouldn't have a pile of old stickers on there. It should be just blank on the new one. So that, that's only the new style license plates that have that issue. But yeah, call us if you see them and you think it's expired.
Yeah, that helps us to be able to explain it.
Yeah. So.
If I can touch on that for just a minute, I think it's just also public awareness that anything that's of an immediate, anything that you notice on public streets, or that's a city ordinance violation that's an immediate thing that needs addressing, such as a dog at large or anything along those lines, that needs to be reported to dispatch. A lot of times people post it on Facebook and then people say, oh, well, all these dogs are out, why didn't you? And I think that the sheriff's office, especially with the traffic that's going to be coming in, have more things to do than be on Facebook and look for dogs at large. So rather than posting it on Facebook, if they want it dealt with, they need to call dispatch. And then for things that are not of an immediate nature, such as your neighbor's weeds are too tall, or like something along those lines that are not of an immediate nature, those need to be taken to City Hall to be addressed at the meeting, or to be given to, I mean, like with weeds, Dan can go look and see if it needs a weed letter or not, but weed calls should, overgrown weed calls should not go through dispatch. I won't say weed calls because being on the border of Colorado, that could mean something else. But overgrown weeds, property cleanups, things like that should not go through dispatch. They should go be brought to the city's attention. However, city ordinances, which are time sensitive, such as a dog at large, should be routed through dispatch.
Is it possible to go into executive session to talk about police law enforcement strategy?
I've never
Investigations. I know you can go in there for investigations.
I've never been asked that before. Give me a second to check the statute. Do you have something else you can just discuss until then?
I don't really have anything else to discuss and stuff like that, but so. I'm at. They'll all work out.
Is this kind of at large or?
Yes.
I guess, can we push pause on this and I go out there with him? Can you guys like go on to like the theater report or something else, and then we'll circle back?
Yeah. Plan theater report.
You didn't want to do visitors?
Oh, sorry, visitors. Kelly.
I don't have anything. I just want to come.
Okay.
I've been here for a while. So come.
I thought maybe it was a pool report or something they didn't know about. Yeah. Theater.
Huh? Theater. Okay. A while back, the St. Francis Herald ran a survey on businesses in the area that it services. Those that were surveyed voted the Cheyenne Theater as the best movie theater in the area. The newspaper has planned to run the winners of the survey and made thank you ads available for purchase. The theater has approved running the thank you ad that was offered by paid for by a citizen. Ad will be in this week's and next week's paper. They were not able to note the ad was a donation and not paid for by the city. So, I can see it.
So they weren't able to.
They were not. We did not get a hold of them in time. I sent out the email to Dan at the newspaper. Well, I guess it's Dan. I don't know. It's just their blanket zany ads, and got a response letting me know that it's actually already processed for this week. So it's going on this week and next. So I figured the best way to let everybody know was to at least mention it in the open meeting that it was a donation made for the purchase of the ad, and that the city is not actually paying for it.
Can we get it corrected for next week?
I believe we should be able to. So I will follow up with them again to make sure that it gets it.
And from the meeting yesterday, we'll be looking for employment again. So
What was the area surveyed? Cheyenne County?
I think so. It's just in the newspaper.
Or was it
Did
like-
it go into
Northwest Kansas?
Northwest
Yeah,
Kansas,
it's, uh,
Goodland and
Yeah, it's all of the newspaper serviced areas. So they actually own
Oh.
some in Colorado, here, I believe Nebraska, like just the Four
Okay.
Corner area, Goodland, and I think that there was one other area, but it's basically wherever they have their
Wherever they have
newspaper.
their papers,
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else for the theater?
like I said, they'll be looking for employment again. So, and they'll have volunteers probably come in because she'll be shorthanded.
How many? One or two?
One that she said that was left. So it'll be
One volunteer?
no
One
one.
employee's leaving?
One employee
Yes.
leaving. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did
So-
have one employee resign.
There's nothing else right here. A motion to accept and file the theater report.
So,
Moved by Kale, second by Justin, all in favor?
Based on what Cody has said, he wants to discuss, we can do it under potential litigation.
Okay,
So, I don't know, you think 5 minutes?
I think it'd take less than 5 minutes, so let's say 5 minutes. So,
do we have a motion to go into executive session for 5 minutes with just who, mayor, council,
yeah.
Lauren?
Which I don't care if anybody, Kelly works at the county attorney's office. I don't care. Anybody in here can listen. I just don't want it on the
paper.
paper, yeah.
Move.
Moved by Justin.
Thanks.
You give it to Dan and
What's that?
Dan and Jen and everyone.
Yeah, that's fine. So, I just want
Wait.
Do you have a second? Sorry, to resume at
7:50.
7:50. Was moved by Justin, second by Kale, all in favor? Okay,
So, yeah.
we're out of executive session, now the decisions were made. Anything else, Cody?
Nope, just the, whatever, if you guys have anything.
Anybody have anything for Cody?
With that said, if you guys don't mind if I leave, I'm gonna
No, good. Thank you.
leave. Thank you guys.
Yeah,
Happy birthday to your dog.
Oh, thank
Tell
you.
Lily happy birthday.
She's enjoying calling herself a teenager
Oh, I'm
today.
sure she is.
So,
See what we decide and all.
Have
yes,
fun.
you know, we just need to shore that
Right,
communication
Your
up.
motion to accept and file the
Yeah.
See you later.
sheriff report.
See you.
So moved.
Moved by Dara, second by Larry, all in favor? All right. Superintendent report.
I don't know if I'll give him, let him go in front of me again or not.
Yeah.
Okay, so fertilizer for the parks. I told Amanda and got the okay, but I still need to get permission from you guys. It was $2,040.
Where you getting?
Want to hear a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
Moved by Larry,
Second.
second by Kale, all in favor? Okay.
Okay, just information, we had to put 2 tires on the trash truck, $650. I have a sweeper quote, when that stuff I just passed out to you guys.
Another auction?
To repair the sweeper.
Oh, to repair it.
First, it'll be $23,494.
We didn't get the other one.
No.
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 Or what?
What did it go for?
5,000?
25.
Yeah, just over what we,
Have you seen any more?
And then another one went for $4,500 2 weeks later. But I don't know what was wrong with it. So, with that being said, there's one here. They're wanting 71,000 for. It is they use it for a rental right now. We could possibly trade ours in for that.
When will the trade-in be?
I don't know. I'd have to call them tomorrow and find out.
Say for 71, we could fix ours and buy another one for 40, if we're lucky.
What does this one do that the new one, or the old one does not? It said run.
Run. Has air conditioning.
Air conditioning.
Has 2 brooms on the gutter brooms. Just 2 of one.
What year's the old one that we have?
Or one.
01? So it's 15 years newer.
I think it's got more hours on it, but
So it's just waiting to break.
Is it come with any kind of warranty when you buy it?
no. I doubt it. I didn't ask that question.
We get ours fixed, how fast can we get it done?
Don't know.
Where's this one located?
Wichita.
Will they bring it to you? Did you go get it?
Possibly. They may possibly bring it.
What you got?
That's a lot of money.
I think we approved in up to 40,000 to buy one on an auction and fix ours, and we have 2. When one breaks, we got a backup.
Or you got 2 that are the same?
Yeah.
They both break.
Yeah. If both of them break, we're really screwed, but it shouldn't be the case.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
I don't have a good thought right
Who's the
now.
one of them?
The other thing was for this, and this seems like a lot of money too, but for 7,000 roughly, we could rent this one.
You could what?
Rent
Rent it.
it.
For how
So we
long?
can try it
A
out.
month for 7,000 you get per month, I think.
If you buy one, they take $7,000 off.
They'll apply that toward the purchase price if you buy it.
Yeah, if it breaks, whenever we're using it, we pay for
You got
the
everything
repairs.
lined up for a whole month. Get it all thing done.
Well, we'll
All the
just
chip
get all that
seal.
chip rock out.
Oh,
Yeah.
Run it 24 hours.
So that's an option too. If they were talking about, we can rent it and see how it works.
And get ours fixed? Or not?
What would you do with 2 of them? You got enough people to run 2?
Not right at the moment. Well, that's not saying we couldn't, like the beginning of summer, throw 2 people out there and go
Mm-hmm.
for a week or whatever, and then
Or if there's a major storm or something,
Oh, yeah, we've
to
had
get
lots
stuff
of
cleaned
dirt
up. Yeah.
piled up many
Mhm.
times.
That we'd have an extra one to get.
And if we're going to do more chip sealing every year, then we're going to have to do that every year.
Yeah, let's pick it up. Unless you get more rain to wash it.
right.
Wash it down the river.
Come over with me.
Or let's see, we can just fix ours and see how long it's gonna take them.
But you don't know how long it's gonna take.
I don't have any idea.
And if they get parts,
Yeah, they'll have to order parts in.
if they can get them, can they get parts?
But yeah,
Probably a couple months. We'll be in the snow by then.
So we're kind of getting out of street sweeping.
What's that?
So we're getting out of street.
Yeah, and then we're still going to rock everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't really get that cold.
Yeah.
Is this a place that makes them, or they just have this?
they just have them.
That's
They rent that one out,
Okay.
that particular machine.
Okay.
Now it's up for sale, I guess. But
Can you find out how long it'd take to fix this one? Would they?
I can call them. and
Would
see
they be
if-
able to tell you?
I can call them, see if they'll give me a estimate. But I can know more later.
Todd, do you have thoughts?
You think we need to get that rock picked up?
That's what I'm wondering. Rent the one for a month and
I mean, I think you don't necessarily hurt anything.
Right, it's just
No.
going to be there.
Unless it rains someday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the
Range of
one that
snow.
we have, we put 23 into it. Is there anything else on it that's going to be down the road pretty quick? Or?
Shouldn't be.
How much to put all the brooms back on there? Will it all being replaced?
On ours?
Yeah.
No,
No. All new.
they're not brand new, but they're fairly new. I mean, we'll have to order brooms eventually again.
How much money with the rock are we gonna be able to scoop back up, you think?
What's that?
How much money in rock do you think is just laying out there that the sweeper could get?
I don't know.
A few
I
yards?
mean, all you're gonna use that rock's gonna be used for is alleys and stuff. You can't
Can't reuse it
Yeah,
anymore.
that's true.
Can't walk.
Still, we paid for it. How much?
It still works for Alice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be nice to have it not washed down
Better than tin. Everybody tearing cats' houses everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can call and see how long it'll take to fix yours.
Is there any other bids coming up?
I don't know.
Don't know.
I haven't looked recently.
Think we should rent that one to get the rock cleaned up?
I mean,
The whole month before it snows?
maybe you'll really like it.
Can we find
Well,
out
then
how
if we
long-
like it and want to buy it, then they'll take the 7,000 off, so.
Find out first how long it's going to take to get it fixed. And then,
So are
Oh
they?
yeah, he'll probably.
What are we doing? Are we taking that up there, or are they gonna come get it?
Ours?
Yeah.
It's already
Ours
there.
is already there.
Ours are there.
It's already there. They just got to order parts.
They've already
probably
looked at
3
it,
days.
but that's their estimate after they looked at it.
It's a pretty lengthy estimate too. It's a lot of stuff to
Yeah.
replace.
I didn't see anything there that was overly. Overly horrible.
Yeah, just-
10 grand a week.
Let's just get into it all, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then the rest of it's the elevator and stuff.
That's just what they
Jesus,
know without
freight's
getting into
$1,000
it, though, right?
Yeah.
Could potentially get one.
Could. I don't know. They did have it in the shop for a day or two and went over it, so
That's probably a pretty thorough estimate.
I would guess, yeah. So we can just find out how long. I mean, we can always call a special meeting if we decide to rent the other one or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I'll find
That
out
sound
how
okay?
I
long.
don't think they're gonna get it done next month.
I doubt it too.
So,
55 hours. If I'm reading it right.
Yeah.
well, that's plus. Is that you get paid for that by commission, or they get paid by?
What do you mean?
Just because it says 55 hours doesn't mean they can be on the job 55 hours, and then they might have to go something else and then come back to it.
Well, that's what, yeah, that's just what they're built on. Is June Christmas, that's,
I think we'd be lucky to have it back in a month.
I doubt if you get back the rest of the year.
yeah.
How soon can they get it here? Then this month to go
I
in.
don't know how quick.
Yeah, we think just get some information from ours, how long it would take, and
How long it'd take to get the other one out?
Because if they're gonna get it here in a month.
how soon can we rent the other one also, yeah.
Yeah.
Just do
Let's get some
that.
information, and then if we need to call a special meeting, we
Yeah.
can.
Okay.
Just
If they get here the next week, that'd be all right. If it's gonna take 2 months to get here, then what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'll call tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, the quote from Stanions for wire for house services is 1,800 foot, $2,372.74. We're just about out.
Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Moved by
Second.
Carol, second by Larry, all in favor?
The lead copper line inventory, service line inventory got turned in today. Tomorrow's the deadline, so we're right on time. Okay. Recycle center, unless you guys tell me not to, I'm gonna go talk to the county about Just seeing if we can start getting the money and take care of the money, and so we can purchase what we need to purchase up there. They're not putting any employees up there to help us out, so
Yeah.
it really is more a city recycling than it is a county recycling.
Yes and no. A lot of out-of-town people.
There's a lot of county that uses it,
Yeah.
but it's being manned by the city.
Oh, I get that. I get that.
So,
And paid by the city.
but they're getting the checks for the cardboard right now.
Yeah.
How was it handled before?
I don't know.
So prior, when it was Sonico, the tickets would get turned in for what cardboard was taken. They would get the monies over at the county. We would get copies of the tickets. We would then write up an invoice, give it to the county. The county would then write us a check based off of the tickets that we received. They would pull off of their website.
But with this new,
So
are they still hauling
Did the
cardboard?
county get a percentage of it?
Not that I'm aware of.
So why are we going that route? Why aren't we just getting the cardboard money? Going
I
to the
don't
county?
know. Well, because it used to, when it went to Sunoco, right? But now that it's going, I don't know how that new company handles it. Are they still taking
She'll
loads?
send it to us if we want it.
But does she
Good check.
invoice it? I mean, so we know how many tons are hauled?
We don't
Yeah.
get any of the info.
Okay.
They might get tickets.
I got some tickets on it, but not.
But currently, the contract is written with the county, so they would just need to do an updated, revised contract to make it with the city. You guys would then review the contract with Lauren and approve it. I think
Yeah,
that would.
I guess go visit with the county and see.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna talk to them to see, because right now there's a lot of money that's sitting up there, and we got a forklift that don't even work, so we need to get it repaired. Either repaired or replaced. Really, we need to get it replaced
Yeah.
so we can load them trucks out quicker.
How much do they get back on that cardboard? Do you know?
Not for sure. It's around $1,000 a load, I think. I'd have to look for sure.
Are we paying for any of the freight?
You know, they come and get it right now, and they pay us to take it. Well, they pay them to take it.
Cardboard's still the only thing that we're looking at.
It's the only thing we're taking at this moment. She
Yeah.
still wants us to take all the other stuff too. I got to get a hold of her later this week and talk to her.
And would it be the same setup? They'll pick it up.
Well,
We
she's
have-
talking about doing that now. Before they wanted us to haul it up there, and now she's talking about coming and get it, if that's what it's going to take. So
at least worth
Yeah.
looking into.
yeah. So I'm just going to get a hold of her. Okay. Amanda and I kind of looked at the trees around that need. We're going to go relook at them since I've had one person come in, look at tree trimmer come in, look at them, tell me how many really need removed and trimmed and all that, and make sure we got the list right. I have a list if somebody wants to see it. Then we should decide if we're going to hire them or. Right now, I've got one person that gave me a bit, and I haven't turned it in to anybody else, but it's that Matt Henslick out of Atwood. I think it was.
I do it. I don't think you want to give. Well, if you're gonna put it out for bid, I don't think you want to give
Yeah,
numbers out in open meeting.
yeah. But his best way is the way he gave it to me, and it's a per hour thing more than
Per day.
or per day thing.
Per day. Yeah.
Same one that did the park.
Yeah. The one that did them last time.
One did the courthouse trees today. Tree. Okay. Bob Coates has been putting toilet paper in the rest areas, and he would like a key so he can put it on the rolls. If everybody's good with that, I'll give him a key. But I don't know why he wants to do it, so
Up at roadside?
yeah.
Yeah. They're padlocked, so
Yeah.
yeah, you would like it. A key
A
then.
copy of the key or
We'd have several of them. If you guys are good with it, I'm gonna move forward and give him the key for now.
Anybody have any problems with that?
DJ had 16 hours to carry over at his anniversary date, which was passed, but somewhere we dropped the ball. So whether it's me or who, I don't know. But he says he talked to me, but I don't remember him talking to me, so it could have been me, could have been him, who knows. But he'd like to carry it over.
Sounds good.
Anybody have a problem with that?
And I'm just gonna roughly give you an estimate because I didn't bring anything in, but TAP's starting to paint down there. Their bill is $900 and something. They said they had 2 more gallons, a couple more gallons of paint, so they figured around 1,100.
Are we paying for that?
That was the initial, we agreed to pay for the paint, and they would do the work.
They say they got the grant funding. Are they using their grant funding money?
Mm-hmm.
They are using.
I mean, not for the paint. I mean, we agreed.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I
we
get that.
agreed to.
On the paint, but yeah, I mean, it's moving forward with all the.
When is the end date of completion?
Still more stages. Aren't
Yeah,
there?
there's more stages. Cause get all the cement and yeah, we don't have an exact.
So no tournaments?
Not just yet. We have a clinic Sunday.
Yeah.
You can come play at the grade school.
What about, have you guys heard about the sound of those things? No?
Well, that's what some people say. That they can be. Good thing it's on the end of town.
The only other thing I have is I need 8 minutes executive session for non-elected personnel for employee application review.
8 minutes?
Yep.
8.5?
It's not,
It's gonna be
it's
5
not a
minutes.
7-minute ad. It's not, no, not 7 minutes.
Oh, that's 2 minutes of talk.
Talk in front of the mirror.
Huh?
Talk in front of the mirror.
Bye,
See you,
Kelly.
Cal.
See ya.
See ya.
Here, motion to accept and file these.
So moved.
Moved by Gail,
Second.
second by Larry. All in favor? Attorney report.
I heard back from Larry Kleeman regarding the city code. He made the changes that we'd asked for with the exception of a couple, and he said we don't usually do this. And I sent him an email back asking, is there a problem with doing this? And he said, no, but we don't usually do it. So I told him that that's how our code reads, and there's really no reason to not, unless there's a reason to not do it like that. We don't want to just change the code for the sake of changing the code. He did point out that our ordinance states that sale of liquor can start at noon, and the law has now allowed it to start at 9 on Sundays rather than noon on Sundays. If we want to amend that ordinance, we have to follow the procedures outlined in the statute. We have to run it for publication for 2 weeks and wait 60 days before it goes into effect. So if we want to change that before, other than that, it should be, I've emailed him the last little minute changes, and so it should be available in the next couple of days, and I will email it to all of you, so you have several weeks or almost 2 weeks to look at it before the next meeting, so you can go through it. And he's going to be emailing me a sample ordinance to adopt it, and so if everyone takes a look at it and it's good, we could adopt it at the next meeting and then get the ball rolling on that and get that published. But so because he had gotten back to me and we'd been corresponding, I didn't do the ordinances we talked to you about because I didn't see the need to have me do those if we're going to just approve it in 2 weeks. So I didn't do that. But I figured that would be not a big deal because then it's not 2 publication costs. It's not, I mean, it's just not, we might as well just do it
I
once.
guess we just needed to threaten to go ahead and do some ordinances.
I know. I was like, we're just going to do more ordinances and make them change them. He's like, oh, by the way. So I will get that sent out. I need 5 minutes of executive session with council and Leanne and Jen, well, probably, and I mean, I guess with everybody, for non-elected personnel employee performance. And then I need, if the council wants an update on the case that I was talking about earlier, I will need probably 2 or 3 minutes of executive session for communication subject to attorney-client privilege of litigation strategy. If you want, I mean, if you don't want, I don't have to, but if you want an explanation, I will need 2 to 3 minutes.
The only other thing I have is that letter you sent me, that public notice.
Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to do that. Oh, I didn't know if you want to do that under me or under you.
Doesn't matter, we can discuss it now if
Sure.
you want to. I mean, you kind of gave a brief overview of what you put out there when Cody was here.
Right.
Basically in a follow-up to the last meeting with the discussions, and the newspaper, the county had put out a press release, and Lauren and I had visited, and she'd kind of followed up with another one just to clarify some things that were misconstrued in the paper.
I don't think that it was really, give me a second to get there. I was under my attorney tab and it wasn't under me, so give me a second.
Did you send me something
Is
else?
that in there?
I have it here.
You have it there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't, oh, it's not on the, it's not on the share, okay. Oh, okay.
You had
Give me a-
emailed it to me.
Yes, I'm sorry. That went to only you. Give me just 1 second here. Then it's going to be in my sent items. I had drafted a kind of response public notice in response to it reads as follows: in response to the publication regarding a conversation which occurred on September 23rd, 2024, where 3 citizens attended the meeting of the St. Francis City Council to discuss concerns regarding undocumented immigrants. The citizens were informed that the city cannot enforce federal immigration laws. Prosecution of violations of federal laws are addressed by the federal government through the federal courts. Prosecutions of violations of state laws are addressed by the county through the district court. Enforcement of city ordinances are addressed by the city through municipal court. Citizens who have complaints of violations of federal laws should contact the appropriate federal agency. Citizens who have complaints of violations of state laws, such as the operation of vehicles with expired tags or vandalism, should report such violations to Cheyenne County Dispatch. Citizens who have complaints of violations of city ordinances of an immediate nature, such as a dog at large or a vicious animal, should report such violations to Cheyenne County Dispatch. Citizens who have a complaint of violations of city ordinances which are not of an immediate nature, such as overgrown weeds, properties in violation of the environmental code, or junk motor vehicles on private property, should report such violations to City Hall. The City of St. Francis has a zero-tolerance policy for discrimination and discriminatory profiling, and applauds Cheyenne County law enforcement on their prompt response to the publication. That's what I had drafted. I don't know if we want to publish that and put it in the paper. I don't know if we want to put that on the website. I'm not sure how the council wants to address that. I have received several comments, including one from someone in attendance that night, very angry about the article. I read it, and I don't think that it accurately conveys what happened if you listen to the minutes of the meeting. And so my response to everyone was, or not if you listen to the recording of the meeting. And so my response to everyone who had contacted me was, it is public record. The recording of the meeting is public record. It is available on the city website. I know Jen had fielded quite a few calls. I spent a fair amount of time on the phone, probably not as much as Jen, but it was, my general response to everyone was, listen to the minutes, listen to the recording of the meeting, because I don't think that the paper reported what actually transpired very well. think that that's, in addition to kind of jumping all over the place, there was a lot of they and them and they and them and they and and it was unclear who it was speaking about, and it was unclear. So I just advised everyone to listen to the recording because that is public record and anyone can listen to it. So that is the statement that I had drafted. If the city wants to do a press release or a publication or anything along those lines.
Thoughts?
I thought it got blown out of proportion, but like you're saying.
I think that maybe a clarification in the paper would be.
Is this something we can submit though? And they'll print as we present it?
I'm sure we can visit with Mandy and or listening to the recording of this meeting that she can probably get something.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we can, I don't know why if we were to take out, if the city was to pay for like an ad space that they wouldn't print specifically what the city, I also got several calls of why would the city let them do that, and I had to remind people that of the First Amendment that there's freedom of the press, and the city cannot tell the paper what to publish. So,
I guess we can visit with Mandy and
yeah.
see if she can clarify.
I don't know if she wants to print that as is, or if she wants to.
Yeah.
I don't know. Clarify.
What does everybody think?
I don't know.
Is it worth even pressing the issue? Is my question.
Probably in the paper right now anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, we discussed it, did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to. I guess whatever you guys wanted, and it's up to the council. But that's pursuant to our conversations. That's what I had. So I don't have anything else other than those two things for executive session.
Thoughts, anybody?
So they don't investigate. They won't investigate. I guess if you, okay, I've had that question before. It's like, so if you had someone come in and move in, you can't. You have to go through ICE, but yet you can't call and dispatch and have an investigation, right? Even though you suspect. Hypothetically.
The federal laws are under federal jurisdiction.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if someone was to. It's just a separate jurisdiction. They have no, local law enforcement has no right to enforce federal law. It must be done in a federal court.
Mm-hmm.
And so Cody does not have the standing to issue a citation or to compel a federal official to do any such thing. So it needs to be reported to the federal government, and they will act as they see fit.
Let's just say someone bought the motel, and then we have all these migrants come in, so we can't do nothing about that either.
We can't enforce federal law. We have no jurisdiction to enforce federal law.
And then if you had more Venezuelans come in, and then they just stronghold you, we can't do anything about that either.
I don't know how many times I can say.
I know, but I'm just clarifying what
I
it is.
understand. If they are violating a federal law, only the federal government can handle it. If they're violating a state law, call dispatch. But if that goes for anybody. If you're involved in human trafficking and you're crossing state lines.
The only thing the city can do is get contact with federals and tell them about it, and then they come in and take care of it.
And
basically is about
the
it.
city, if the city is contacting them based on someone else's knowledge, the individual with knowledge who would be the witness needs to contact the appropriate department, whether that's the Department of Homeland Security, whether that's Immigrations and Customs, whatever it is. I mean, if it's money laundering, if it's whatever the federal crime would be, the appropriate federal, and we need to tell them to go to the appropriate federal agency. It needs to be reported that way because we just don't have the jurisdiction.
hear a motion to accept and file the attorney report?
Move.
Moved by Kale,
Second.
second by Dara. All in favor? Clerk report.
This is going to be covered under.
Yeah, that's my.
Okay. Just
So if you want to do that, I don't know if you want to extend it from the 5 minutes that I had. We might be able to do.
No, this is just after.
Yeah, that's going to be after this.
Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure. I finished the online portion of the classes for the CCMFOA courses. I will not be here at the next meeting. I will be in Wichita for the in-person classes. Kale, did you want to bring up the foundation's request about the siren?
I was going to, yes.
Okay, then
Yeah.
that's all I have.
Okay.
Do I hear a motion to accept and file the clerk report?
So moved.
Moved by Kale,
Second.
second by Dara. All in favor? Good. Council comments. Bud? Kale?
Apparently
Have
there's-
anything?
I do. There's some people, a few people, that would like to hear the whistle blow again at 7, 12, and 6.
Well, I've had that question off and on
Yeah.
for a while.
Well, now everybody's, well, not everybody, but quite a few people have approached me about it now. So, what's everybody think?
Everybody always might comment to me, that's small town, that's how we
Yeah, I always like that.
move.
Yeah.
I always like that.
So I'm sure the paper will print something. I'm guessing, but.
Take a survey.
What do we do? Just, I mean, we could almost do like a.
Why did they shut it
local
off?
vote on
Do
it.
you remember?
I don't complain.
Why did we?
Oh, I heard
Doing
one
that.
person headed that up.
Didn't we do a poll or something when we moved the siren? Didn't we do a vote or something? We had people come in and they could, or was that just for the location of moving the siren?
No, I don't.
That might have been just for when they had to move it. So I think maybe then the decision. Don't quote me on this, but I feel like there was discussion because it's by the hospital. That means it would blow 3 times a day by the hospital. But we would have to ask somebody who can remember the history on that. Was your mom still the clerk?
It was Lila.
Was it
We
Lila?
could go back and look, I guess, and see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We took a poll for something, but I can't remember if it was.
There'd be something in the minutes. We could go back and look.
Yeah.
So maybe we could do that again. Just do a poll.
How about you just play it and then see who complains?
Yeah. It's not like it has to go like off like a.
Like a
Like the
other-
test
like
where
the
it goes
test
for
where it
5
goes for
minutes.
It goes up and goes down, yeah.
Just up and down, 1 minute, not even that, probably
30 seconds.
30
We
seconds.
only just did three circles for what it used to be a circle on it.
Yeah.
About the equivalent of 3 circles, what it used to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Ryan had a lot to do with that, so he might know something.
Well, anyway,
I was
that's
thinking it was going to be a
that's all I
big
got.
timer
People want to
or
bring it
whatever,
back,
you
and
know.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I'm all for it.
I've heard that for a long time. I've had people, brings the kids in for supper and brings
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that all?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Larry?
Nothing.
Sarah? Justin? All right. We need executive sessions. You want to do
Yeah,
those
for
first?
8 minutes.
Okay.
You can do hers first.
Lawrence first. And you need
Can I need
8 minutes.
I need 5 minutes for, well, so I need, if we can do it all in the same executive session, that's fine. I need 5 minutes for, no, we can't, because I need just council, I need everybody in the room for 5 minutes, and then I need just council in the room for like 2 or 3.
All right. So we'll do the first one for. What was the first one?
It is for non-elected personnel job performance.
For 5 minutes with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I hear a motion to come out at 8:31.
Move.
Moved by
Second.
Justin, second by Bill. All in favor? Out of executive session, no decisions were made. Do I hear a motion to go back into executive session for 3 minutes?
So,
Moved by Larry, second by Kayla, all in favor?
To resume at.
No, I want to resume at 8:30. All right, we're out of executive session, no decisions were made.
3 more minutes?
Oh,
You want to
yeah,
do?
do you want to do the motion?
Yes, please.
Do I hear a motion to, yeah, how do you want that?
Motion to reclassify employee from previous job description to office assistant.
Someone?
Moved by Gail, second by Justin, all in favor? Okay. And then you needed,
I need 3 minutes for communication subject to attorney-client privilege with just council, mayor, and me. And it's pertaining to pending litigation.
so 3 minutes to come out at
41?
8:41? Do we hear that motion?
First.
First by Gail, second by Larry. Okay, we're out of executive session, no decisions made. Do I hear a motion to go back in for 3 minutes to resume at what? 47.
Move. Second.
Moved by Justin, second by Gail. All in favor? All right. We're out of executive session, no decisions were made.
So as far as the procedure goes for now that Jen's back,
So as far as we're on dogs, talking about dogs, with the new dog issue that we have, with the dog that was picked up by the sheriff's department, loose, City Hall was not contacted. Now it's been 7 days. The vet clinic can put that up for adoption. We just find out that we have a dog up there, trying to, which they might have somebody to adopt it. Then again, we're going a week's worth of boarding fees at $50 on the weekends and $25 during the day. You're looking at a few $100s to, per ordinance, they would have to pay the boarding fees, which is going to be $300. Well, somebody has to pay that to adopt a dog, and the dog's going to sit there, and I mean, it's just going to keep snowballing. Nobody's going to, want to pay that. I get an adoption fee, but I don't know at the extent of if they have to be held for 7 days, and you're looking at least 1 weekend, if not 2 weekends, depending on when they're picked up. That could be a substantial chunk of change. And obviously, if there's no ticket, there's no there's no way to recoup that expense for the city.
You know who owned the dog?
There was speculation when I had a conversation with the vet clinic today. They weren't 100% sure. The person she said I might be able to get a hold of and call, but at this point, the dogs, in fact, when I talked to her today, I thought it was Monday, so I'm kind of chuckling about this as we're talking about it. So it's been over a week now. So I get what she was saying because today's Tuesday. So at this point, they must not want their dog back because
They haven't called looking for it.
right.
I just want to know if you just can't build the person that owns it.
Yeah.
And they might not want to go get their dogs. They don't want to pay the fine or pay the boarding fee.
It's their dog, it's send
Send
it
them a bill anyway.
I mean, if we could prove it's their dog, and
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And
is
if
that-
they don't pay it, send it to collections?
if we
had it in our code, I think maybe we could do that. But is that even a thing we could put in our code?
I mean, we know who it is.
Possibly.
we don't. I mean, we don't know. I mean,
So the shirt.
I would say if they had a city tag and we
Can
could prove
investigate
whose
who
dog
owns
it
the
was,
dog?
yes, we could. But not knowing for sure whose dog it is.
So it was interesting that Cody even brought that up in the report because as I told him, I called Cassie, and so somehow we need to find out at City Hall there's dogs up there. A lot of times we'll find out because most of the time a dog owner wants their dog back, so they're going to have already talked to the vet clinic, and the vet clinic's going to say, come to City Hall, pay the bill. But we've had a couple of circumstances now, and it's my understanding we're going to probably see a substantial bill next month from the vet clinic on another dog. And so here's the thing, and that one of the reasons why, like I suggested to Cody, and so this is up to you guys. And so that piece is why I told him we would have to discuss it. You guys would have to discuss it is, you know, if it becomes a court case, I don't know how big of a deal it is, where Leanne is the court clerk, if that becomes, I don't know, a conflict that if something goes to court, a lot of times loose dogs aren't going to go to court, but we've seen it happen. We had that case a year or two ago why we had to go buy that big screen TV because he wanted to have a court that day. Remember that? Because that was a dog at large. And so.
But if they text you right off the bat, if that actually got put into practice, would that eliminate a lot of the issues?
And the reason I suggested texting is because if it's after hours, I don't check my work email after hours.
Yeah.
So maybe because if they could give me a description, we could put it on our Facebook page right away. I saw the dog, this recent dog posted, but I didn't realize it had been picked up inside the city limits and by a deputy. I had no idea. Like literally, I thought maybe a concerned citizen had taken it in. I had no idea till we were contacted
I think some
today.
follow-up with the sheriff's department would be nice too, instead of dropping the dog and that's the last it's ever,
Yeah.
that we know of, that
If
it's been
she's
handled
not-
by them.
If she's notified about a text, I mean, you can copy and paste that to an email and send it to yourself, and then you have a documentation.
Exactly, and if they could text me and send a picture, then right away it could be put on
Yeah.
a Facebook page. But so it was just, I mean, I was going to bring this up tonight, and then, you know, Cody said he just found out about the dog. So I do think we need to get a streamlined process for all of us because I just happened to be the one to talk to the vet clinic employee today. So then I told her I'd call Judy. We got to figure out something here because it's involved City Hall, because if the owner does come in, we're the ones writing the initial warning. So
should it actually be a two-stage deal where the deputy sends a text and then the next day we get a call from the vet clinic just to cover it?
maybe,
But, I mean, the vet clinic might not know
right.
where they picked the dog up. It could be a county or a city.
That's the other thing, because it almost sounds like there's no follow-up then, and I don't know, so I don't know what the follow-up is then with ESO, and that would be a good question for Cody that I didn't even think of, you know, when he was in here, is where's the follow-up after they drop a dog off, you know, in a couple days? Do they go, if it's a city case, now, county, if it's picked up outside the city limits, that wouldn't affect us, but if it is picked up inside the city limits, you know, it might be a good idea for SO to follow up with the vet clinic to say, hey, do you know who the potential owner is? Have you reached them? Because then we could get into the warning stage, and then we would also probably know if they don't want their dog back. And we could maybe eliminate several days if we know that owner is not going to claim this dog, so we need to get on possibly adopting it out. Judy does a lot. I don't think we want to lose her service on this.
Right.
Gizmo, she took care of her quite a few days, and he finally got adopted out with the help of a powwow. But
And that's a lot to ask Judy to
it is.
take on that, trying to find somebody to adopt it and posting it, trying to get it into a rescue. And I mean, she took on a lot. A lot. And I just think
That was that last one that was posted on.
That gray one. And I
we
think
need
that
some
Judy,
sort of streamlined.
It seems like you need kind of a paper trail, wouldn't it, if something went to court?
Yeah, I mean, but here's the procedure as it is currently in place is that when the sheriff picks up a dog, if they know the owner, they generally take it back to the dog, give some sort of warning, and then they're supposed to contact City Hall to document. Because you get one warning the first time your dog's out, second time it's $25, third time it's $50, and every time after that it's $100. So they're supposed to, if they know who it is, they're supposed to pick it up and take it back. If they don't know whose it is, they're supposed to take it to the vet clinic, or if they can't find the person, they're supposed to take it to the vet clinic and let the city know that it's at the vet clinic, and then I don't know, generally what was happening was if we know who the dog is, then usually, if they know who the dog's owner is, the vet clinic had been contacting them and saying, we have your dog. But for dogs that they don't know I don't know how we would issue a citation if we don't know who the owner is. And so, I don't know that that's. I'm in agreement that we should, at the point that the dog is abandoned, we can issue a citation for that. We can issue a citation for. It could possibly be theft of services. We could also issue a citation for animal neglect, because at that point they have an animal for which they are not caring, for which they are not paying to have to. At the point that an animal needs to be adopted out, that's animal neglect or animal cruelty, depending on the state of the animal when it's taken to the vet. But so the vet will contact. So I don't know what we're going to do if we don't know who the owner is. The vet can usually contacts the person, tells them that they need to go to City Hall to pay the bill. When they come in, City Hall, Jen will call up to the vet and find out what the bill is. They pay that amount, they get a receipt from the city, they take it up to the vet gives them their dog. That's supposed to be the procedure, but I don't think that
And part of the breakdown on this was, I think that Judy thought we would post it on our page. I didn't know it was picked up by a deputy. So I didn't share it on our page.
That's why I don't know if that's something that the sheriff's department
I don't
would
think I
follow
did.
up or should follow up to
Well,
see.
that's what I meant. Shouldn't they have a paper trail? That they picked up this dog at whatever place,
They
what
should,
time, what's it look like?
Where they picked it up from.
And then
Whether
have
it's in or
that,
out of the city limits.
yeah.
They
And then
did.
have that,
That'd be so easy.
I think they have, when they do stops, they do some report thing. It's got a teal line across. It's got a teal bar across the top, and it's got deputy and the call time and what was, and they have it. The issue is not them having the documentation. The issue is them getting the documentation to literally anyone else. With the exception of what I had said, which the issue is the documentation. But it's the getting it there, and I don't think that Larry's off with maybe having a two-step process, because I agree that the sheriff's office should notify the city, but also if the
It's a backup.
if the vet has a dog, they may want to contact the city and say, hey, just so you know, we have a dog that was, brought in last night. Because generally, if it goes in during the day, I don't think it's during the day that it's the issue. It's when it's taken at night that's the issue, correct? Am I correct in that statement?
Yeah, and we haven't had it for a while, so I need to retract what I said. So now I can't remember always what dogs I share, because sometimes people will reach out to me and be like, hey, my dog's out. Can you share it on the Facebook page? And I'll be like, yes, did you call dispatch? So 4 days ago, I did share one picture of the dog, and I said, call the vet clinic if this is your dog. But at that point, I had no idea it was literally a dog picked up inside the city limits. So that's, I think, part of what we need to know.
Mm-hmm.
I think that piece is because I didn't know it was literally a city dog situation. I just thought the dog showed up. I didn't know if
Is that what we got into an issue with it on the last one? Or we thought it was going to be a county issue and not a city issue?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we need clarification. Well, if Cody follows through and has deputies text you, if we get that done, I still don't think it's a bad idea to have the vet clinic just ask them to give us a heads up as a backup.
Well, and I think if that's the case, and if I get a text that they actually picked one up inside the city limits, then of course if it's after hours, first thing I'll do is let Leanne and Wyatt know, because sometimes I'll hear stuff after hours, so I'll let them know. And then we can call the vet clinic and be like, we're aware a dog's been picked up, so do you know who the owner is? But 99% of the time, the owners are coming in to pay for their dog to get them out. So we've had a couple of unique cases the last couple of months.
I was going to say that normally the procedure works fairly well. It's just the problem is that when the procedure doesn't work, it's not a small issue. It's a giant issue. And so...
People register their dogs now with the city.
Yeah, I think we're up to maybe like 49 for the year.
Is what?
I think we're up to like 49 for the year, 50. I don't know.
So
I don't know.
what do they pay for
What's
that?
the last tag you remember receiving?
$5 if it's spayed or neutered, $10 if it's not, I think. Three?
Three.
Three and
That's
five?
your after the day.
Before March 1st, it's $3 if it's neutered or spayed. It then has a $5 increase after March 1st. So it would be $8 unless it is unneutered or unspayed. Then it is a $10 and then goes to $15 after March 1st.
And this is
So are-
when they first get the dog, right? It's not an annual.
Every year.
Every
No,
year.
every year by
Yeah,
March
every
1st.
year.
Every by March
So
1st.
are these dog cases that we have, are there tickets being issued for
Tags?
city tags? Because there should be, because that's city ordinance that they should be tagged.
So that gets into a sticky
No,
subject.
it was suggested that when we were first putting the process together with Judy taking it, it was to be, if they needed rabies because she didn't have it on file, that she would administer the rabies, they would be charged for the rabies. If they weren't tagged, she would suggest you need to get it tagged. We would suggest it, but we can't force them. And if their breed is on
The problem is that the city can't register dogs that are not supposed to be in the city.
But we're redoing the breed.
We're redoing the breed
so there
restrictions.
should
So,
be
so going forward, they
Yes.
should be able to be cited for violation of the registration. The city has heretofore not been able to, and we said that it wasn't going to be an issue because we were going to be repealing it, but I don't think we realized it was how long it was going to be until I don't think we realized how long it was going to be until we recodified. But I think that moving forward, it'll be your dog needs to be tagged because we're not going to have a breed ban, and so your dog needs to be tagged or else you're getting a citation. And I think there's still, yes, the $5 fine, but that's not what the fine is if they get cited because they've been told to tag their dog and they don't. Correct?
So that's the fun one because we redid that part for the registration and took out our $5 fee. Like
The registration?
No, not for the registration, for
Okay.
the fine.
Oh.
We took that part out, so no matter what, the city lost that $5 even though it doesn't really cover anything for us. But it got removed.
Why is it removed?
Just a small oversight.
Huh.
While we were fixing the bigger problem.
So what do we collect on dogs per year? Tags.
Not as many as are out there.
I don't know that
I
it,
think $49 and $3.
Yeah,
That's it?
basically.
$3 per
I
dog.
don't know that it.
I mean, I don't even know that we're recouping our
Yeah,
expenses
we might
for
want
the
to
tags
adjust
and
this to where we
stuff,
can
but-
pay for all these expenses for the
But the
boarding.
thing is, those expenses aren't the responsible dog owners that are coming in here and
No.
taking our animals. But
No,
if
true.
there is a fine, problem is we have a dog that we don't, if there's no owner claims it, then whether or not there's a fine, we might not be able to charge it anyways, so.
Yeah.
Let's hope it's just a couple of isolated cases.
Yeah, hopefully.
And I don't know that we've had I don't know that we've had a dog at large situation since last October, so we've done pretty good.
It's here.
At least ones that have been turned in.
And I do think the sheriff's department, they're pretty fair. If someone puts on Facebook that their dogs are loose and they're out looking for them, first thing I do is message them and say, contact dispatch with the description of your dog and tell them you're out looking for them. And I think the sheriff's department's been pretty fair with those owners if it's an isolated incident, because dogs slip out.
Yeah.
If they know they're actively looking for them. With that being said, the ones that are the repeat offenders,
We did, and it got taken out.
This is for quantity. This isn't for tagging. 122. Not 2202.
We still got
Or
8 a.m. too.
2201.
Yeah.
How many minutes did you?
This
Okay,
is
I'm on the wrong
8.
penalty that.
8 minutes?
7.5, that's all you get.
Yeah, that's right, 8
After the
minutes.
March
Right,
1st.
right.
Okay, there's
This
another
is for
one.
this is for the quantity, right?
There's
And we
another one.
right, and we took it out because my understanding was that we took it out because if you're hoarding, because that allows us to.
What's
I
25
mean,
minutes?
25 minutes?
Right.
Forecast for the subject.
Alright, do we hear a motion to go
Right.
into executive session for 8 minutes?
I move.
Second.
Who all in
No,
here?
no elected person.
Non-elected personnel, we're going into executive session for Dan. Moved by, who moved? Justin, Kale. Non-elected personnel, who all in
8
here?
minutes.
8 minutes.
9:16.
9:16.
Who do you want in here?
Everybody here.
Unless you're ready to go.
I had a return reject because a client didn't give me their IP, so I still have to go call them.
Yes. We're out of executive session, no decisions were made. We need more time.
Give me more time.
We'll go back in.
Well, we just need to decide if we want to do anything or not. I mean, if we only accept him for part-time, I'd say go ahead and make a motion to do that. And then see where we
You're gonna have to talk a little more about that, I think.
Yeah.
So go back in now 2 minutes.
Okay. We hear a motion to go back into executive session for 2 minutes.
Somewhere.
Moved by Larry. Second
Second.
by Justin. 9:20.
9:20.
You're standing in front of the clock again. We're out of executive session, no decisions were made. That it?
Do we want a motion to offer him part-time then? Do we need a motion for that? Or?
Yeah. We hear a motion to hire the applicant part-time.
So
Moved
Second.
by Kale, second by Larry, all in favor? All right. Bills on, bills on ordinance 1091. Has everybody had a chance to look at them? Any questions, comments? Motion to approve.
I'll move to approve.
Moved by Larry, second by Kale, all in favor? All right. Now, Kale. You know,
Now's the time?
what's so... like, when I got on, of course, meetings didn't start till 7:30. And I have been here past midnight for city council meetings. And we're like not even at 9:30.
Yeah, we're like close.
Like 3/4 of the people are asleep.
yeah.
Motion to adjourn moves by Kale. Second by Larry. I've been here past midnight. I'm like, oh my gosh.